Hi guys, and welcome to another 4 Minute Fridays. I'm going to try and keep this one to an absolute maximum of 4 minutes. I already doubted that, but let's give it a go. We've hit the lovely tee shot down the middle. It's taken a bit of a nasty kick and we're in a fairway bunker. I've got 190 yards to the pin. The lie is good, that's the first thing. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? So in this instance, I've got a bit of a tree in the way of mine, so I've actually got to try and shape it a little bit as well. But I'm going to basically imagine that tree's not there just to help you guys out if you're in this position. Because unless you're a highly skilled golfer, I wouldn't recommend trying to hit a high hook out of a fairway bunker. That's tip number one. Okay, so the first thing I would say is work out your hazards in front of you and how destructive this shot could be. If you've got water all the way, say, to the pin, or there's a lot of trouble left or right, maybe there's a fairway bunker that you want to lay up from, obviously we're going to try and club accordingly to this. So we're going to try our best to obviously hit it into the patch that we're aiming for. That's the first thing. And hit the majority shot each time. Unless, of course, you're playing match play and you really need to get up and down, or you really need to make the miracle four, in which case it's no holds barred, just go for the shot. You've got nothing to lose, really. Second thing is look at the lie. My lie's fine. Obviously, if it's a little bit plugged, then you're going to have to change your shot. You're going to have to just chip it out and go from there. But this is going to be a couple of tips on what we're going to do to try and maintain a good golf swing whilst being in a bunker. Lining up is absolutely crucial. As always, you're going to look from behind. We're going to make sure that we've got a good line. There's loads of little dots in the bunker here. There's loads of marks, so it's very easy to pick a little spot in front, which is your absolute direct line to the flag. That's the first thing. That's not too bad. So now when we come into it, we're going to line up to that mark. I'm going to say that marks that. I know we shouldn't be touching the bunkers, obviously, but for this purpose, I'm going to put a little dot there. That is the dot that's on my mark. I don't know whether you can see that. And I'm going to stand in behind this. I'm going to square myself up a bit like last week. You could put your, I'll put a link above about your pre-shot routine and making sure you're square to the target. Put your 2 feet together, one to the left, one to the right. Okay, and then what we're going to do is line up to that mark, because it's very difficult looking up to actually line our feet and our hips and our shoulders up to a target when I'm looking up and trying to look at where all the trouble is and where the flag is. So we've stood behind the ball, we've looked at our mark in front, we've set ourselves up, we've got our feet together, a little one to the left, bigger one to the right. That's our first. We know we're square. That's the very first thing that we want to be able to do. Be square is absolutely crucial to a good swing. Get a little bit of traction in the bunker, because we are going to slip around, because obviously the sand is a lot different surface than stood on grass. Okay, so we're going to just a couple of little wiggles just to get your grip. Okay, we know we're set up square to the target, so that's fine. Then we're going to set up to the ball. Now normally, because we've gone down a little bit into the ground as opposed to being on the grass, you can imagine on the grass we don't go down at all. But if we go down a little bit in this bunker, we're actually going to effectively get closer to the ball. Now you might say, oh, it's just so minimal, but that is the difference. If the golf club is just here, hovering just above the ball, and we go down just by this much and do our normal golf swing, there's a very good chance that we're going to hit it fat, because the club is actually closer to the ball because we've gone down. And it's amazing how your body doesn't always react to that up and down. So let's eliminate that by going down the grip. So as we go down in the bunker a little bit, we're just going to go down the grip. Now I'd go down 2 or 3 fingers worth. Okay, so you get the butt of the club and you get 2 fingers as that, or 3 fingers. Okay, so we're going to go for our 3 fingers down the club. Now we've got our nice grip, we've got a nice stance, and it's nice and solid, the base. And now all we're going to do, we're going to put our normal swing on it. Forget about everything else, don't try and do anything special. All we're going to do is shorten this grip, which means we may slightly catch the ball thin, but that's fine. The only thing we don't want in this bunker is to catch it fat and hit the sand first, because then it's just going to puff out, probably stay in the bunker, it's just going to go nowhere. Whereas if we catch it thin, even if we're just under halfway up the ball, it's still going to go out, and it's probably going to go maybe a 10% shorter than what it would normally do if you absolutely flushed it. that's absolutely fine. And if you completely knife it, it's still going to get down there and it's still going to be straight, but the fat shot is the one that we definitely don't want. Okay, so I've gone down, got my feet in there nice, and it's just going to be a nice smooth swing. And forget everything else, we've just gone down the grip, so we definitely aren't going to catch it fat. And just think nice and smooth and don't panic. Okay. That was actually a really good shot. Okay, so I actually don't get that many fairway bunker shots. For whatever reason, I usually plan my way around them, but you can't help some. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. You just end up, get a bad bounce and you end up in them. Let's do the bunker. So there are lots of people giving tips and there's lots of different ways to do the same thing. But I would say the way I've always looked at golf, keep it as simple as you possibly can. As soon as you start putting extra pressure on the left side and trying to go down steep or hit it shallow or all those other things, they just confuse your brain. You end up putting this crazy swing on it that you don't need to do. All you need to do is actually hit the ball clean. That's our only goal. The first little bit that I went through then was just about setting up square, but you should do that every time anyway. The second little bit was getting our feet into the sand, so we've got a nice grip. That makes sense, doesn't it? You know, because we're always twisting and we're always getting our pressure and our power from the grip that we've got on the floor. We literally just want to make sure that we can grip okay. It is a little bit unsteady because sand is a bit different, but that's fine. That's the second thing. And the third thing really is just go down the grip. And that is it. If you go down the grip and you swing it exactly the same as you would on any other shot, you'll catch it possibly just slightly cleaner, thinner than what you normally would. That's good enough. We're not talking about trying to hit, you know, a 5-iron 230 yards to a flag that's just over a pond. You don't take that shot on. You know, leave that to Rory, you know. What you want to do is get out of that bunker with as minimal damage as possible. You can still make a birdie or a par, but to be honest with you, it's just one shot dropped if you don't hit too bad a shot. So just remember those tips next time you're in the bunker. Hopefully you're not in too many, because it's a bit of a nasty one when you're in one of those. Hopefully that's helped. Keep it simple. Keep everything in golf as simple as you can, because we're always looking to just save that one shot, or really just to stop the disaster shot. And simple is the best way. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.